Leafs Talk. Sam McKee, Anthony Petrielli of Maple Leaf Hot Stove fame. You can read his stuff on there every day, or every Monday. I love to read it. It's fabulous. I steal all my content from there for the week, so he does a great job. And he joins us intermittently here on Leafs Talk throughout the year when JD Bunkus having a week here. Somebody tweeted me the other day when he missed the late one, and me and Ailish did it. And somebody tweeted me and called him JD Bunkbed, which I thought was a fabulous chirp. So, well, I think he's watching the Royal Rumble tonight with our boy Matty Hayes. So he takes this one on every year. Big wrestling guy, but
he missed a barn burner.
Okay, so here's what my real first thought is coming out of that game. Okay, Anthony. So the dialogue this week has been, just pretty toxic about everything. And I think one of the biggest conversations that we've seen everywhere is, do you blow it up? Do you retool or whatever? And I just want Leaf fans to know what it looks like when you blow it up and what blowing it up means, because the Vancouver Canucks have blown it up. And I don't know if I'm ready for 82 games of that. I don't know if I'm ready for 82 games for 3 years of what the Vancouver Canucks are about to head into. And they still have Austin Matthews and William Nylander are very good. So that was what I was watching this game being like, are you sure about that? You sure, Leafs Nation? Because boy, it's going to be a grind for a few years for the Canucks. And listen, the Leafs barely beat them. The Leafs suck right now. They need some work too, but they don't have Matthews or Nylander. That's where I'm at watching it.
I don't know. The Leafs barely beat them on the scoreboard.
Yeah.
But they dominated them. Yeah. They dominated them. That was only the second time this season the Leafs got 40 shots on net. And do you know when the first time was?
Yeah, it was early, in October?
October 2nd against the Detroit Red Wings. When
the second game of the year?
The third game. It was Thanksgiving, and Detroit scored with a minute left after not touching the puck all period.
I remember that. Yeah.
That was the first time since then.
Yeah.
We've talked about it before. And, you've talked about it on your show. I've talked about it on Hot Stove. The Leafs get 60-40'd all the time in terms of possession.
Yeah.
It was, 63+% for the Leafs. They had 79 shot attempts, and at a full 5-on-5 game, the full 79 shot attempts, not including overtime. They dominated them. They couldn't score.
So what we have determined from tonight, my boy Anthony, is that the Leafs are better than the Canucks.
They are. We
have determined that tonight. So they have done it. Also, they never win this game. I don't know. I forget what the numbers are. I saw it before the game started.
Third time since 2006. First time since 2019.
I've attended this game before. First time since this 2019. Yeah. I've attended this game. I will say that we can get into this part of it too. I've been rooting for the Leafs to lose here now. I know you're more. It's going to be really hard to get into the top 5 hard. With Kipper is on that same boat. We had a big argument about it on Friday, but I am happy for my Vancouver Leaf fans because I went to this game one year, and listen, I've been to a lot of games as an opposing fan, and I'll tell you right now, I've never taken it as bad as I've taken it at a Leafs Canucks game in Vancouver. They are ruthless. There is nothing that they hate more than the Toronto Maple Leafs. So for them to be having the horrible year that they're having, and then them to not get this, I'm happy for my brethren in Vancouver that got to enjoy them win that at least. So there. That's my positivity.
I wasn't sure if I was going to talk about it, but because you've said that, I'll note. My wife's from Vancouver.
Okay.
I have 4 brother-in-laws who are all older and significantly bigger than me. Yeah. They all played football out there. Yeah. So on principle alone, anytime they beat Vancouver, because they have
take it.
Yeah, they have some sort of feelings about Toronto.
Boy, do they.
They really do. So I'm good. I'm all right. I don't care what the situation is. The win against Vancouver is they don't like us. They really don't like us. So you got to take what you can get. And in terms of the game itself, there's a few angles, right? There's one, they just outplayed them, I thought, pretty thoroughly, through most of the game. But in the third period in particular, which I think is going to shade to a different conversation.
Okay.
because I think that this will start picking up steam, especially if he's out for some time. That was the one period they didn't have Morgan Riley. And we've seen that conversation, and we've seen that from the team in general before where he's missed time. And I don't want to, look, I'm not here to slag Morgan Riley.
No, let's do it.
Any more within reason of what he gets.
100% do it. I'm sorry. Let's do it.
And we will. But before we get to Riley specifically, the D pairings haven't made sense for weeks.
No.
And so, like, just removing the Morgan Riley part out of the equation, we've been looking at Ekman-Larsson on his offside in a shutdown matchup role with Jake McCabe when, like, Troy Stetcher and McCabe are up 13-6 in goals. And
they were fantastic together, like from the start. When they had that little turnaround, that was one of like the key moments of it is when those two were paired together. Continue.
We've watched this 6-game losing streak, and every game they've run out the same pairings.
Yeah.
And I'm like, am I living in bizarro land? I don't know how you haven't changed this just to see at any point. And then we had Marshall Rafai gets inserted today, and he was, you were having a good time on Twitter about it.
Wow.
It was, it was a tough showing, but it made me think back. We saw Matt Benning play one game against the Islanders. He was completely serviceable. Like, this is a guy that has almost 500 games of experience in the NHL. We have not seen him since. Philip Myers got a bunch of games, which he hasn't been NHL caliber all season.
No.
We saw what Marshall Rafai did today, and I'm just kind of watching the whole thing going, are we taking the right lessons here? Like, you completely went away from this McCabe-Stetcher pairing that was, you can talk about how sustainable it might be, but it was working. And until they stop working, I don't know why you would change it. And then Riley comes out. So now Ekman-Larsson's back on the left. You saw a lot of both, right? Like, you saw Ekman-Larsson with Carlo. You saw Ekman-Larsson with Stetcher. Either way, I liked it.
Yeah.
And when they did get Carlo back at the time, and I know I think he struggled the past like week and change, but I thought he was completely fine when he first came back.
He's looked like he's kind of supposed to look.
And I think he ended with 4 shots on net tonight, which would tie his career high as a Leaf.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means, if anything, but
I think anecdotally, it feels like he's had a few chances recently where he's like tried to shoot the puck a little.
Actually, he got up to 5 shots, so that's career high as a Leaf tonight. Brandon Carlo, congratulations, 5 shots on net.
Dynamo.
But it just, when he came back, the bigger point there was, I think their 4 best defensemen are in whatever order, McCabe, OEL, Stetcher, Carlo.
Totally agree.
And we've been watching this Riley Carlo pairing that's been terrible. We've been watching Ekman-Larsson play on his offside.
We know what the common denominator is, Anthony. Okay. Like, it's been 10 years.
Yeah.
Where they've tried to paper different guys to this situation, and they went as far as to trade what is supposedly going to be now the number 2 center for the Boston Bruins for the next 15 years in a first-round pick.
Is he shooting 20% the rest of his career?
I don't care. The visuals during this season right now
it's been tough.
It's a bad. Every night I'm like, oh, another 3 points for Mitten. They've traded so many. Like, they traded to try to get Carlo in here to try to paper over this issue, and it's the common denominator is 44. And I thought that they just looked like they. Riley on for both goals again.
Yeah, he was on. He didn't play in the third. He was on for both goals plus the goal that didn't count.
And the D-to-D
and the one goal was his fault.
Yes,
like explicitly, 100%. It was his fault. If like we show it, if we have it from the beginning sequence of when he's in the offensive zone, it's like terrible play. The second goal against right, it's like terrible play in the offensive zone.
Yeah, there's no chance.
No, like nothing.
No,
and then. JT hustled back. Like, he got back properly. So all Riley had to do was literally cover a defenseman.
But this is the definition of a nothing. Nothing's ever going to happen. So what I was going to say is, like, they just seem to go D to D so much cleaner. And like, it just, no one was, I think the reason you live with the, whatever you try to live with Riley is because of like the threat of offense, but without the threat of offense there, it's really a tough pill to swallow. And everybody was just kind of playing their position. And it looked like a much more solid defensive unit, probably a less offensive upside or whatever. But can I Can I ask you about the Rafai thing?
Yes.
Find that very weird. Like, so what is the plan, Anthony? Are they trying to develop?
No, there is,
but they're also like they're talking about how these 2 points are huge. Like, I know Benoit is far from a perfect player. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to sit here and die on the hill of Simone Benoit. He hasn't been very good this year, but like, you paid him $1.5 million. Like, he's been one of the guys on this decor for 2 years. It's like, this is the guy, this is the time that you're going to put a guy in his second NHL game. And you're like, are you developing now? Are you tanking? Like, I don't know. He's 27 and it's his second NHL game. I don't know what the motive for this is today. Like, has Benoit been bad enough for you to pull him out to put in Rafai? Like, Benning, sure. Benning's an NHLer who's played a lot of games. Like, Myers, no thank you. But to do it for Rafai in this spot, it was just very weird. Like, are they trying to showcase him to trade him? I don't know. I was shocked when I saw that he was playing.
The joke I want to make is that he's a little too old for Boston to take him moving forward. So
yeah,
they're like, we might as well try at this point. But
God,
I'd imagine if I really wanted to squint to give you an answer,
yes,
I'd imagine it was more about Benoit and just, cracking the whip a little bit, and that he comes immediately back in.
Yeah.
But you're right. Like, I mean, look, I still don't understand a lot of things about their plans. Like, we just talked a lot about the D pairings.
Yeah.
I was kind of laughing going into this game going, okay, how are these forward lines the same? Like, we didn't see Matthews and Nylander play together until the final minute of the third period there because of an icing.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, they did come back and tie it with a lot of room to spare. But I was just kind of going, are you going to load it up at any point against this terrible hockey team and just tell your two best players to dominate together for a couple minutes here and probably win this game in regulation?
Been very rigid with like their bad lines.
And nothing changes, right? It doesn't matter how guys are playing or, the Seattle game, we saw it with Nick Robertson. And I thought the whole thing with that second line was hilarious. They went -3 and Michelli has the giveaway that makes it 4-2 and effectively ices it. Yeah. And you see Berube lose it on the bench.
Lost it.
And I'm sitting there going, they were terrible all night, man. Yeah. Like, we all were watching it. You did nothing about it. You should get mad at yourself.
Yeah, I saw their fancy numbers in that game, and I saw some 20%, and I'm like, that doesn't seem like it's very good.
No, they were.
You're watching the whole night. Yeah, you're right. It's perfectly said.
Like, why are you mad? It wasn't like it was out of nowhere. I was like, they've been playing like that all game, and you just did nothing about it.
If only there was a guy that had the control of who played together on the ice here.
Meanwhile, Nick Robertson is like on one in that game, and he's not moving up, and he's just watching Michelli just boot pucks around the ice, and he's like. If you're Robertson on the bench and you're listening to him snap on Michelli, like, are you just like,
well, I'm right here, man?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm right here.
What more? And he, to Robertson's point too of tonight's game, like another good game for him. Yep, totally. That was a great play on the Nick Waggle. That was legitimately a great play.
I actually just quickly on the passing part with Robertson this year.
Yeah, he's learning how to pass.
You know what I think it is? It's that like. He just has a little sense of comfort in the lineup where he doesn't feel like he's pressing and he has to like score goals to prove that he can stay in the lineup or whatever. And that, there's a lot of times that I've seen him pass pucks this year where he would have just hammered it into the pillows last year from spots. Like, obviously not there. That wouldn't have been a place that he would have shot it, but it just feels like he's much more willing to make a mistake, but just like take a little bit more risk on a pass as opposed to just force it towards the net, which he did so much in the past few years. But this guy has gotten a lot better, man. And like I joked about it with Ailish on the other show, is that you hold on to him long enough to see yourself turn into the Sharks that he was going to get traded to. But like, if this is just going to be a development time or they're going to suck, or I don't know what the hell they're going to look like, I hope he plays a ton. See what you got. Like, try him on the top line. Like, could he? Like, is it so? Like, you can't play him, try him with Matthews for half a game. Like,
he's 24 years old.
Yeah, he's still young, man. I'm sorry. Like, I still think there's room to grow for him. Put him on the top line for a bit. I don't know. You suck anyway. Try it.
I did. The Sharks comment was funny. Like, I laughed at that. So when you said it, and even now a little bit internally.
I know.
But I will say this. Like, they won the division last year and he was a regular on it. Wasn't like he was a bit part. Like he was a regular. He played
70 games last year,
right? On their third line for most of it.
Yeah.
Like there were a ton of games. My issue with that line last year, that Robertson, Domi, McMahon line, is that they weren't like they couldn't play against real hockey teams.
No.
But what I did like and appreciate about Robertson is you also still need to beat the bad teams.
Yes.
And he had a ton of games last season, like when Buffalo was bad.
I'm never mind. Sorry. Continue.
Yeah. But like when Buffalo was bad and Columbus was bad and all those teams, he was lighting them up.
Yeah.
And you still need guys that can do that. You can't look at Matthews and Nylander, whoever else, every single night. Like you need guys down the lineup. So I thought he was a contributor to a team that effectively finished in first place.
Yeah.
And then the playoffs was a different story, which I think convolutes things a little bit. But to me, he's a player who's progressing.
Won't have to worry about that this year.
You won't. But no. I did, to your point about, finishing top five, top five, getting the pick, or if not, Jonathan Lettermacki scores today, and he's a 15th overall pick, and he scored, and it was a nice shot, but I kind of shrugged. I was like, I'm okay giving Boston that.
So for sure, but that's living in the world where they don't draft a 6'5" right-hand shot D-man who turns into like their best player for 15 years.
And then what? Trade him because he goes to museums too much?
Yeah, that's true. Listen, I actually had an argument in a hockey locker room today before this game about somebody was brought up like the Tuukka Rask thing and how this is Tuukka Rask 2.0. And I gave the ultimate zag in the room. I was like, you know what? It wouldn't have worked here with Tuukka Rask. He was a head case. They never won it. They never won anything with him anyway. It was all Tim Thomas. I went for that zag.
He lost in Game 7 at home in the Stanley Cup final.
Yeah. So they would never won anything. And even in all those series against the Leafs, he never feared Tuukka Rask. Anyways, we're off the rails here. Speaking of goaltending, I mentioned a lot of those things about how watching the Canucks and just how they suck so bad and like how you're ready for that. And the Leafs have better players and could. Joseph Woll can be so good. And like, he's got good numbers on the year. I know this last stretch of hockey, he's been pretty bad. Lots of pucks have entered the net. The Leafs defensive play has been pathetic. There's been a lot of no chance ones, but he hasn't really, covered himself in glory for the last couple of weeks. He's been a big part of this losing streak. Yeah. But I would say that he looked really good tonight. And that's another part of it going forward where you're like, you have a guy that when healthy, which, is a bit of a question mark, is a real guy. So you hope that he can keep up this kind of play and like go into next season and just be this and that, like that gives you a hope for a turnaround.
That was an
but I thought he looked
start
awesome.
For Rafai. That clip they just showed.
Horrible.
That
no,
just
buddy.
Stunning.
I texted to the group chat with multiple exclamation marks. 83 off the ice, please. Like he just didn't look ready for this at all. But just to finish it off, Woll was really good tonight, specifically in overtime when that puck hit off the end boards for some reason, or would Willie cough it up? I don't really know how it came out. And he just read and react, splits. He looked really, really good tonight. So good for him because he's been brutal recently. So good for him to come back and have a good performance here.
Yeah, I mean that should have been a goal. Realistically,
that should have been a goal. That's a great save.
Right. And he also had a really good save, one really good save towards the end of the third period.
Yeah.
Which
know exactly what you're talking about.
Which is further compounded by the fact Vancouver didn't touch the puck all period.
Yeah.
So you're just watching them dominate, and then they come back down and get one good chance off the rush. Mm-hmm. And honestly, when this happened, when I saw the numbers here at 3, and then they actually completed that pass across ice, I was like, all right, this is how it just felt like this is how it ends, right? That's how it's kind of gone for them the past week and a half. And he was really good on this sequence of plays.
Yeah. And
that got them the point that right there. And then to your point, he was really good in overtime. I mean, Joseph Woll is really good. The two things with him are he can't handle the puck.
I hate at all. He handles the puck.
And he can't stay healthy.
No.
But in terms of which are two extremely big things to be
fair. Other than that, he's great.
but him in net is fantastic. I mean, he's a legitimate, and this is where I'm gonna say something, but people are gonna convolute it.
Okay.
I think he's a top 10 talent in net.
That's fair. Like if he was to ever put it together for a full season, he could find himself into like the top 5 conversation.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I ever believe that would ever, I don't know what's a full season.
If 45 games? He can play 50, which sounds almost impossible for him. He played 40 last year.
Yeah. Okay.
But if he could get to 55,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he has stayed healthy this year. Knock on wood.
Yeah, just like whatever it was at the start of the year where he was not.
It wasn't
there
an injury though.
No, it was. We don't know what that was, but yeah, I mean,
we know it wasn't an injury.
We know it wasn't. It was It started as an illness, and then it was a family thing, and then nobody knew, and then he came back, and no one asked any questions. So.
We'll say off ice. So
yeah,
he is really good, and then. To further talk of blowing it up, rebuild, like those are really hard things to do when you have some of these players that are really, really good, Woll included.
Yeah.
And look, I think Woll's better than Stolarz. I've always kind of felt like that, to be honest with you. At some point, Stolarz he's also good.
Yeah.
Like he's not going to be terrible like this the rest of the final 30 games or 25 games or whatever it is, 20 and change.
Yeah, because his numbers are way below his career. They're way below his career norms, though. Like I know he hasn't played a ton, but his career stats have been pretty good. But he's awful this year, so we'll see if he can figure it out.
There's like a million things you can look at and say that they're like almost nothing has gone right for them. To be honest with you, this year, like this is basically like every single thing going wrong. The two positives are Robertson's learned how to pass, and McMahon has been a little bit better, and Ekman Larsson's had a really good year.
So
that's it.
Luke just put in the chat here as we're talking that Berube said Riley's upper body needs further evaluation, no timeline. So I'm telling you right now,
heater,
they're going to win these next 2 games. And it is going to be a month straight of Leafs conversations with no Leafs on, obviously, because the Olympic break's hitting. And it's going to be how can they get rid of Riley? How can they? I know that conversation has already happened
it's done. Honestly, it's just a matter of if it's going to happen during the season, probably not, or in the summer, more likely, but it's done. I mean, there's not much to say anymore.
How are they going to how is that going to happen? Other teams have pro scouts. Like, is it a buyout?
He's still productive. I don't know. I think you could still move him for something. I look at what Anaheim trading for Jacob Trouba.
Okay.
Right. It was like a conditional 4th round pick and a defenseman whose name I'm not going to pronounce correctly, but it's like Urhove or something.
I know the name, but you're right.
And that was
brave of you for attempting, my friend.
Yeah.
Very brave.
Yeah. We're trying our best here at Leafs Talk. It's Saturday night.
You got to pronounce the Tendy for Vancouver's name.
Yeah. There's no chance I'm doing that.
That young man had a fabulous game tonight.
Yeah. Right. But that's the kind of return that I would imagine. I would be trying to make it work with San Jose, who have essentially 0 defensemen signed for next season, other than I think Dmitry Orlov and like Sam Dickinson is on an entry-level contract.
Reunite Lily Pad and him. Put those.
He's a free agent too.
Oh, is he? Oh, yeah. Okay.
My bad. So I mean, you could kind of go through it, but if you retain a little bit, Riley at $5 million, putting up 40 points, is still something.
You're right, but he's just.
I get it.
The Klinger reunion. I think
he's also a free agent, but he could come here because he can run a power play.
Yeah, honestly, I went to that Sharks game with Kipper and I watched him play like up close.
Yeah. You can see why Tree Living liked him.
This guy's snapping it. Wow.
Yeah. You can see why Tree Living liked him. He had the bad hip. What I didn't like is that the Leafs rehabbed him essentially, and then he elected to sign with Edmonton.
Yeah,
I thought that was lame.
That was annoying.
Just on principle.
So the Riley thing has really become Phaneuf-esque for me, where it's just he's always been miscast as a top pair guy. Like we've got the conversation, like he's had good years. The 20 goal year that we all look back on with Ron Hainsey, where he was like I'll never understand how he shot in the net 20 times. It's
playoff Riley was real though.
For sure. Like,
I don't know if we're giving him are we giving him a lot of obituary right now?
Those amazing 7 games and 11 games that they had. He was unbelievable in those games.
He was like the only guy you could sit there and say this guy's going to show up tonight and care.
It's weird though. Like why? I don't know. I if they got in the playoffs this year, maybe it would happen again, but he wasn't very good last year against Florida.
No, he wasn't.
I think he was on the ice for, I forget what the number was in terms of high danger chances and goal. Like he was horrible against the Panthers last year. But like, I do think that there's a world, and Borny's had this take on our show if you listen, that he goes to another team out of the spotlight and plays third pair minutes and is like a totally serviceable NHLer. I just don't know if another team's going to be like, we'll pay $7 million for that. That's the only thing. I think it's either got to be retained or whatever, but it's just not working here anymore.
I don't even think wherever he goes, he'll play I don't think he's playing 17 minutes a night. I bet you he'll still play 19 plus.
You think?
Yeah.
Because
he can skate a little bit. He can produce a little bit. We'll find out next season, hopefully. And we'll circle back on it one Leaf talk.
Yeah. I really don't think if I'm like setting the priorities of whoever's in charge when the summer starts, if I'm setting the priorities of like what needs to be done, that divorce is at the top of the list.
Yeah.
It's at the top of the list.
Yeah. And this game is I'm not even necessarily viewing it as a microcosm of it. This game is honestly irrelevant in that conversation. It is what it is. Honestly, it's just kind of run its course. Like however else you want to frame it, you can talk about struggles or miscast, or it's run its course.
Yeah.
It is what it is. It's time. It happens. He's had a good run. Good for him.
Yeah.
It's time. The guy who I don't think it's time for, though, Austin Matthews, scored the shootout clincher. And we heard Friedman at intermission, talk about how they reaffirm their commitment to each other. I would love to hear Matthews come out publicly and say, like, I'm not going anywhere. This is my team, and we're going to turn it around.
Okay.
Like, that would be the kind of thing that would actually buy him back some, like, real grace in the market.
Hold on, before you keep going here, he had the whole net to shoot in, but watch the guy. Maybe we didn't roll it long enough. They just flashed this guy in the crowd. I sent a tweet about it. I've just never seen anyone less excited about the Leafs when he's wearing a Leafs jersey. He's just got he's basically frowning, but we didn't have the long enough clip. I tweeted it. Go check it out on my Twitter if you want to see it. It's just so funny. Like the guy's just like, yay, we won. Oh yeah. This guy, look at him. Watch. Oh, what a moment for me. The guy just couldn't care less. Anyways, continue. I totally agree with you. So continue here.
It's the beer. What I did like about that goal though is so obviously he gets the penalty shot in overtime and he's gassed. And they tried calling the timeout. You do what you can.
Yeah.
And he just didn't have it. You could tell.
No.
And
that's where you just fire it. You're dead tired. Like you got tired brain, but like you try to make some big dangle. You got one of the best shots in the world. Come in and fire it low blocker as hard as you can. See what happens.
Yeah. So I have two things on that. So he went in on the forehand angle.
Yeah.
Right. And on the penalty shot here in overtime.
Violent fall.
And the goalie, whose name I'm not going to even attempt to pronounce.
That young man
comes out and challenges aggressively. Like he is out right there. That he has no chance to shoot. Right. And so hold on. So at that point, he did open him up there for a second. The 5-hole is there, but it's a harder play on your forehand. Than
oh my God, the 5-hole! You could drive a Mack truck through that 5-hole.
It was wide open, right? But if you come and you go side to side and you pull it to your backhand, it's so easy to slip it 5-hole.
Yeah.
Right. And he just kind of ran out and was tired, and the goalie challenged him aggressively. So to me, the penalty shot, 10 minutes in real time after that was just want to be clear, I'm way better than you. Yeah. And I embarrassed you. He cooked him on that.
I mean, could there have been more net to shoot it in? He made him look stupid.
And to the point of how he approached that one in overtime, he took the exact same angle again. He went to his right and then came to his left, and so he did the exact same thing. He just torched him this time. So I thought that I enjoyed that because I was a little game within the game, but I also want to make sure this goalie who's significantly below me understands I'm way better than him.
Yeah.
But I did want to say one thing about overtime. Sorry.
Okay. I just want to say something on Matthews before you leave.
No, this is also on Matthews, which is going to be it's going to come across as a bit of a criticism because in fairness it is. That shift leading up to the penalty shot, he was gassed. And in the defensive zone, he was lagging.
Yeah. He's brutal in overtime.
And suddenly
in overtime all season,
right? And people have shown various back checks and whatever. Yeah. And so when he got that puck, if we go back to it, that leads to the penalty shot and getting hauled down. That was a minute 40 plus into his shift, and I thought to myself, live in real time, I was like, "There's no way he has anything left because he's just floated for the past 30 seconds on the ice." And so at this point, I was like, "He's going to get caught," and then suddenly he has an extra burst.
Oh, God.
To push through. And I'm going, where was this on the defensive side of things? Like, I'm glad that you found an extra juice in you when you had a breakaway and your eyes got wide, but you got to dig in like that defensively too. Like, that's what drives people nuts. And there's been, various clips at times, which I think have been some fair, some unfair on back checks and overtime and whatnot. But here he was almost 2 minutes into a shift, which is insane. And he finds a second gear. Like you gotta, it has to go both ways. Like, you're watching him here and he's barely moving. And then suddenly it's like, oh my God, my legs work again.
Man, what a back check by Garland there. That's all heart. Good for him. He crashes into the goal. I'm sure Bill Guerin loved watching that. Just Austin Matthews careening with his legs split. And you're right, though. And listen, he's been brutal in overtime all year. And this is they've lost 9 games in overtime this year,
They're
right?
8 and 9.
Yeah. Like, I mean, think about if they had won 5 more of those, you could talk about them being in a playoff race still, right? Like, it's just, and he's been a big part of it. So
they'd be keeping Scott Laughton and Bobby McMahon, Sammy.
I honestly, I would have just, I don't know. I find this so hard to talk about. But last thing before you go about Matthews, you brought it up there about how, Friedge said the stuff on headlines. Like, tons of people hate Matthews. And even like I, at times, am frustrated by him in terms of like the lack of cap, like, oh, he's not the fiery captain and the outfits he wears and people, all the crap, all the stuff your buddies say.
I do, in fact, know those things and probably have had those interactions.
Correct.
Myself.
I've had those same thoughts multiple times. But like, if Austin Matthews is willing to sign here long term again,
100%,
everybody just has to shut up and have him sign on the dotted line, right? That's just it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good.
We're
on the same page.
I want to see Matthews go down as the best Leaf of all time. He is, and people are going to argue he'll never be as good as Dougie or Wendell or all those. I get it. I can argue.
Listen, I hear the dressing room every day.
Okay? I could hear the comments coming, like attacking my ribs as I said it out loud. I get it. Yeah. People are going to say that, but I don't think what anyone could question, and I'm sure some will try, is he is for sure the most talented Leaf I've ever seen.
100%.
I mean,
no question.
69 goals is insane.
Yep.
In this day and age.
And he's looked like that guy for a month here now.
Yeah, and he's been doing it with Bobby McMahon and Max Domi. Like, no offense to those guys, but let's be honest here. Mm-hmm. That's not good.
No.
So
he's got such a heavy lift on that line in terms of defensively. It's just like he's got to do so much.
Right. And they look at him and say, go play against, top guys all night while playing with those guys, which is, again, we talk about the D pairings being mismanaged and the forward lines not changed. It's like, none of the stuff that they do from a coaching standpoint makes any sense whatsoever. The deployment, the combinations, the systems. It's like,
listen, we're not going to get into it, but they need better.
We're not going to, right? Like a new coach alone takes it it changes things drastically if you hire someone with a clue. But you look at Matthews and you would like him to stay. And he's also a selling point, right? People will come here to play with him.
Yeah, like Connor McDavid in 2 years.
The train's starting now.
Oh, yeah. Last thing I'll say, I wanted to make a joke. I wanted to tweet it, but I didn't want to get the people mad at me. But when Matthews crashed, we did that horrible shootout move. I'm like, should have pulled up YouTube on the iPad and found a shootout move to pull off. Boy, the iPad dialogue has been hot.
That shootout move was all iPad.
Yeah, he should have got the Malik with through the legs and the finger in the air. He YouTube that one.
He went and saw it after the miss in overtime. And he was like, "Wow, the 5-hole was a canyon. You know what I'm going to do? Backhand high."
Love it. All right, AP Petrielli, you're the man. Follow him on Twitter at @Petrielli. Fabulous work with Maple Leaf Hot Stove, especially his the Monday piece he puts out every week. I love it. There's a great podcast with Alec Brownscombe. Brownscombe. God, I always screw it up. I look at it. Sorry, Alec. Thanks for joining me. And I will not be back on Monday for the Flames. Bunkus will be back with somebody. And then the last game against the Oil on Tuesday before the break. So thanks for joining me, guys. And do the thumbs up, like all that crap that JD usually says. Enjoy the rest of your nights, guys. Bye-bye.